Hello once again. My name is Negative Legend, and I am here to answer the question, what happened to Scary Godmother? You might remember Scary Godmother as those couple movies that aired on Cartoon Network back during the days of really bad CGI animation, but that's not the origin of the series. The concept of Scary Godmother was created by Jill Thompson, who is a comic book artist and author. She has worked on other titles like Sandman by Neil Gaiman, and has even done work on Batman comics, Wonder Woman comics, Swamp Thing, Bizarro, and a lot of other comics. She's had a hand in quite a few things. Scary Godmother started as a series of children's books and comic books published by Sirius Entertainment in 1997. After the series became popular enough, Dark Horse Comics acquired the rights to publish a hardcover edition of the comics. The series was so well done it was nominated and has won several awards from 1998 to 2001. As stated by Jill Thompson herself in an interview done by Westfield Comics, Scary Godmother is like your fairy godmother but for Halloween. There's really nothing scary about the Scary Godmother. She's fun and macabre, reminiscent of childhood with a little bit of social commentary mixed in. I wish I had tons of money so I could buy not only copies of all my favorite books for each of my 7 nieces, but also an extra copy for me. I've always liked Charles Addams, which I wouldn't say is a children's author. I'm a big fan of what I was read to by Captain Kangaroo on TV, so one of my very favorites are the Francis books by Russell and Lillian Hoban. I still pick up children's books because I love the illustrations and the stories. A Scary Godmother play was produced by Jill Thompson and Run Amok Productions, and is what led to them to create the animated movies that aired on television.
Well, aren't you sweet? I work my talents to the bone to be the biggest, creepiest, scariest monster I can be, and nobody's ever given me anything for all my hard work. Well, not on purpose, that is, anyways. I pick up a lot of dirty socks by accident. Darn that static cling! So, how'd you know monsters like candy?
My cousin Jimmy told me. He's the one that brought me in here. We were out trick-or-treating, and then he said that every year a new big kid has to go into the spook house and bring the monsters candy, or else the monsters will eat every one of us.
I'm a vampire.
I'm Jimmy, I'm the devil. Happy Halloween. Hi. You seen a little girl dressed like a dumb fairy princess, probably bawling her eyes out like a big baby?
A pink dress? A gold crown? Fairy wings? No.
In 2004, Cartoon Network aired the first film adaptation in the United States. However, it released just about everywhere else in 2003. The animation was done by Mainframe Entertainment and was the first instance of them using their new animation software. Jill Thompson even had a hand in the production of the movie since she helped write the script and maintained creative control. Since the computer animation departed from the conventional animation at the time, it has been compared to a Tim Burton style, while also trying to resemble the watercolor illustrations of Jill Thompson. The second film, Scary Godmother: The Revenge of Jimmy, released in 2005 based on the second book. And though it holds a special place in my heart, since I watched these every Halloween growing up, the animation is not aged well. I mean, yikes. Jill Thompson even participated in the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, apparently.
Hi, I'm Jill Thompson, and I'm accepting the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. You can donate, which is what I'm going to do, at alsa.org right after I get hit with this bucket of ice water. I nominate Amanda Connor, Becky Clunan, and my niece, Lucy Azzarello. But right now, I'm accepting the challenge that Beth Phoenix, the Glamazon, has thrown my way. I'm gonna take a frizzy hair, face full of water, not as a Glamazon, but as an Amazon. Wonder Woman. Here it goes. Oh, man.
Her more recent works are Magic Trixie, that began in 2008. In 2014, she was in a film, Meet Me There, that's an American horror film directed by Lex Librand. She played as Lindsay.
Before I was working on Scary Godmother, I'd spent most of my comic book career collaborating with other comic book writers, being their illustrator. I collaborated with Neil Gaiman on Sandman, The Invisibles with Grant Morrison, Beasts of Burden with Evan Dorkin. The Scary Godmother came about as a completely happy accident. My first niece was going to be born, and what I really wanted to do was make a book for the baby. Also, at the time, the much sought-after position of godmother was going to be coming up for the baby, and I thought, oh, I can see myself in the back of the church. I'd be a pretty scary godmother. And the minute I said that, I got this picture of this kind of like little goth Tinkerbell lady. It was like, that's what she is. Oh my gosh, she's your scary godmother. She's like your fairy godmother, but for Halloween, and she shows you that stuff that you think is scary is not so scary, or she helps you get over your fears.
So what in terms of doing like projects for TV, like how did you find out that you wanted to take a different angle with the character? Like there were some things you'd rather stress as opposed to maybe a different direction for a storyline, or?
Well, what you saw for Scary Godmother, the first Scary Godmother special was we had adapted Scary Godmother to the stage, and we did a stage play in Chicago. We did 26 performances at the Athenaeum Theater. It was me and a small theater company called Runamuck Productions, and their director, Heath Corson, and I sat down and wrote a play based on the first Scary Godmother story and some of the other stuff that had happened, so we could, add little bits to it, and made 1-hour children's play. And it was fantastic. It went over huge. And Scary Godmother had been optioned by the time it was Mainframe Entertainment. Now it's been bought out. It's called something else. And they had optioned it much earlier than that, and nothing had happened with it. And eventually we sent them our play, and we said, you've been looking to do something for TV? We did a very successful 1-hour play for,
right.
We should make a show.
Have you thought about merchandising as far as the character goes?
I am working on that.
You're working on that?
I just recently, I have all my rights back for everything, for books, for TV, for merchandise. And before it was kind of all tied up with, if I was with a publisher, they had certain rights. And all the merchandise I suggested making, like plush Bugaboo or Scary Godmother fashion doll, is very expensive to do. And the reason I know this is because I am going to be doing some of it. Anyway,
I have to say, we're getting an exclusive here. Previous World has dibs on this, all right?
Keep my mouth shut until I actually had the doll to show, and I was hoping that I would have it here, but it's not. There's stuff that's not done yet, and I didn't want to show in progress. I wanted to show you what you would get.
In 2013 to 2014, she began a Kickstarter project for a fashion doll for Scary Godmother in response to several fans requesting merchandise for Scary Godmother. It was successfully backed, reaching $206,187 out of the goal of $150,000. On her Twitter is a link to thescarygodmother.com, where you can see more product available for the Scary Godmother. She apparently started her own limited liability company. I discovered this while buying a Scary Godmother enamel pin. I tried getting a small interview with her, but I never got a response. Nowadays, you can still see her work on several variant covers of comic books being released to this day. Her watercolor illustrations are extremely striking and visually appealing, and it separates itself from other illustrations of other comics on the shelves. That's all I have for this video. If you want to support the channel, then there's a link to my Patreon in the description below. Stay beautiful and keep playing.